Hello, good morning from Japan. It's the 17th day of May 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation. This is an exercise that I do every morning to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with any challenges, any noteworthy challenges or opportunities that I met. I go over my objectives outlined in my creed, and then I plan for the coming day. So first let me begin with a welcome to new subscribers, a disclaimer that I do talk about sensitive subjects in this video, namely my own death, my own planning for death, and then also thank you for your support. Those that watch my videos, those who support me on as YouTube members and as Patreon supporters, I really appreciate it. You help you're the fuel and the energy and the impetus to get out and do Japan, which is happening just behind me here in the rain. But this video is not about Japan necessarily. It's my journal entry for today. And let's get started. So I'm going to do three things now. I'll check and read and respond to comments when I'm done. The first thing is to go over the last 24 hours and talk about interesting things that might have happened that were a challenge to me. Let's get into it. First, there was nothing. This is increasingly becoming the case in this new retired life that I'm living. I'm finding myself rarely challenged anymore now that the house repair work is, not the repair work, but the remodeling work is complete. Yumiko and I have just, my wife and I have just settled into a nice little cadence of days. You know, we have our rhythm, we're establishing patterns and things that we do, projects that we're taking on. And the PEF, the peaceful, easy feeling that I identified a month or so ago that was beginning to arrive, has just become the way things are. So it really does seem, in the end, that so many of the challenges that I was facing before I retired, the sleeplessness at night, the anxiousness that I sometimes felt, the panic attacks that I had sometimes, especially at work, the incessant, seemingly, issues that I faced, that I had to rally the good life creed, rally my principles. I had to develop them and then rally them and utilize them to address. So much of the reason for all of that was the day-to-day that I was living. It was the life that I was living. It wasn't me as much as my circumstance. Although I suspect that the me that I've become is as a result of meeting those challenges, developing a worldview and a way of handling it, and then applying that to life over the course of my 40 adult years that led me to this point. Could I have got here without the trials? Probably not, because it was the trials that formed me. It was the trials that were the forge out of which I put together the principles that will allow me to then strive for my objectives. So it's a strange thing to say. All along, so many of the stuff. So the reason that I needed my toolkit was the very thing that allowed me to develop the toolkit. And I wouldn't have put the toolkit together without it. You know what that looks like? That looks like someone who crossed through a great mountain range. Like here, the Southern Alps that I'm looking at. Well, I can't see them because of the clouds, but they're over there. They extend about, I'd say 40 kilometers from one end. They're very wide, the Japan Southern Alps, very wide. From one end to where I am here, if you were to like set straight through them, you'd have to go through about 40 kilometers of rugged mountains to come out to the other side, which is halfway to the other side of Japan. Or picture the Rocky Mountains or the Appalachians or whatever you want to do. It's like someone who has walked across those mountains, whichever range you choose, gets to the other side, and then is surprised that they're no longer wiped out and exhausted. There's no more grizzly bears to encounter, no rivers, no cold, icy rivers to cross, no dangerous escarpments to climb. Life seems easier and more sedate, maybe, simpler and level on the other side of the range. Well, no surprise, you've made it to the other side of the range. Life, the world out over there on the other side, if you start at the Pacific side and cross the Rocky Mountains or the Sierras or something like that, let's choose the Rocky Mountains. If you start, for example, in Utah, and you make your way through Utah over the Rocky Mountains to the other side, you find yourself on the plains of Colorado, heading towards Kansas. Very flat and level land, easy going. So too, the flat and level land that Yumiko and I have emerged on now, on this side of adulthood, having crossed through the mountain range of career and raising a family and all of that. So then the point is, looking back over those mountain ranges, if I was to apprehend someone younger, maybe my daughter, who's just starting on their crossing, what could I say to them? Don't stop. Probably that's the best word I could offer right now, is to don't give up, don't quit. Just keep on walking. It's an interesting perspective to have. As a result, and elicited by the fact that my notebook is empty. I don't have challenges to write down anymore. I guess I made it to the other side. It's good country over here. Keep walking. Okay, let's move on to the next item here, the creed. So my creed consists of the following 8 objectives, and I always forget. I want to read from the book one of the principles, and I forgot the last few days. I'll remember today. The 8 objectives of my creed, I'll just name them: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of my time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. Now, as for the principle, in my book Going Alone, in the chapter titled The Good Life, all 8 objectives and 35 principles are laid out. And I think the last principle I talked about was a few days ago. The principle of, the pirate ride. I did that 3 days ago. Today, I'm going to read the principle of maturity. It has 3 sub-principles: wisdom, fortitude, and integrity, suggesting that maturity, as I see it, is a consequence of acquired wisdom, the ability to sustain fortitude. Fortitude is a component of maturity. Maturity doesn't see the immediate ends as its necessary goal, but the ends of virtue. And sometimes virtue requires fortitude to get there. And then integrity, where we don't want to compromise our the values that we hold in the name of achieving ends. We want to have the ends to be activities that lead us to sustain the values that we hold. So maturity has 3 sub-principles again: wisdom, fortitude, and integrity. Here's what I wrote. It's a very short paragraph. Maturity is a finely curated collection of experience gained of life trials, both succeeding and failing, and recalled with some accuracy and honest consideration towards improved future ends. Wisdom is the soil where such considerations are plowed, while fortitude is the will and persistence to see the harvest through, and integrity maintains our sound constitution. Basically just saying everything that I just summarized piecemeal. Put that back there. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to do, as the rain starts, you can hear the rain starting to get stronger, is I see I've got this little desk that I made. It's quite nice. I can sit here and feel the rain. I can sit here and be front nature with tea in hand. And the rain can come down as hard as it wants. And if it gets a little too hard, I can retreat back and sit in my chair. Oh, check this out. My water butt is getting quite full. See the pipe here. And the rain comes down from the roof and fills the water butt here. And then I can use the water here to water my plants. Oh, is that a spider? It is a spider. I rescued you, you spider. You're still alive. Good. Here, you can come live in the plant. Good luck to you. I have to come out a couple of times a day and check for critters that are stuck. The bamboo forest is very, very green and lush, and lots of interesting creatures in there. Counted 3 suzumebachi yesterday. The rice field is getting green again. I imagine the farmers will be coming to plant their rice soon, and the rain keeps coming down. Okay, so as for today, you know, in retirement I only give myself one goal every day. I can do anything I want, but within reason. But I assign myself one object activity to do. Yesterday was to plant, let's review. How did I do yesterday? Yesterday's goal was to plant 2 eggplants and 2 bell peppers in the garden. And Yumiko and I successfully did that. It took us 2 days of concerted activity. Like I said, I keep saying it over and over, and Yumiko says the same thing. We don't know how we ever fit careers into our lives. There's no room in life for a job now. The days are very full. How do we raise a daughter? I don't know. But so for today, the goal for today is that, I had a fender bender the other 2 or 3 weeks back. I ran into a fence in our car, and we had insurance fix it. They're fixing both the fence and the car will be ready today. So at about 9:30 today, the insurance company representative will bring the car back and take the loaner that they gave us away. So I'm setting the bar very low today, my friends. That's the only thing I have to do today is by 9:30 to accept the car. Other than that, I think I'm gonna probably spend most of the day here. Of course, we'll have Yumiko and I are kind of our days kind of revolve and focus on meals. I mean, we meal kind of breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, kind of take everything in. Probably we'll go out. We'll have breakfast here. We'll probably go out for lunch. Maybe we'll go out for dinner too. That would be nice. That's it. Okay, let me go ahead and read the comments. Well, look at the flood down there. Not flood, but you can see the pools of water. It drains away pretty quickly, though. Okay, comments. Hi, Missy Boo. Good morning, Kurt, and everyone else. I hope that you all have a great day. You too, Missy Boo. Quick question. Can you please describe the soil in your garden? Well, I can try. It's an interesting question. It was our garden, which is back here. All of this land right here was previously a green tea farm. And then before that, probably for hundreds, if not thousands of years, it's been agricultural land. I mean, literally from the Jomon period, which is thousands of years ago. There were people living in this valley. We know this because their settlement and their burial mounds are right over there. And so this riverfront land here was probably prime farm real estate for millennia. So the soil is very rich and dark. Um, there is some clay, especially if you dig down a bit, get about a half foot down, you can kind of get a little clay, but up at the top it's very rich. As you can see, the green just comes up. It's very, I think the word is fecundant, brimming forth of life. So, but Yumiko and I are amending the soil as we turn the soil, because this land hasn't been used for 70 years. So there are a lot of roots and stuff. So we turn the soil to get the roots out and whatever rocks we can find, which are very few, and then we amend the soil with fertilizer, and then we plant. So hopefully I answered the question. But it's not sandy really, and it's not too clayey. It's soil that's been used for a long time by humans and neglected for more than half a century. Carlos, hi Carlos, good morning to you. Dustin, looks rainy. It is. Can you hear it coming down? Rainy. Robert says hi to everybody. You see Blue says hi to Robert. Sarah, hi Sarah. Good morning. Love hearing the Japanese nightingale. Such a beautiful countryside sound. Thank you. It is nice, isn't it? And Robert, and I'll tell you this, Sarah, which also nice is to sit here. Got my little chair here. I'll sit here and through the day, and you can already see them. There's the swallows. I don't know if you can see them. They're even flying in the rain. If I hold this up, maybe we'll see one or two fly by. The swallows are here, and they all day long. There goes one way up there. The swallows just dart in and out, and then as night falls, the swallows are immediately replaced by bats, and dozens of bats will be flying, and they replace one another, almost like the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace. I can sit here while Yumiko's cooking dinner and smell the smell of dinner coming up. I can watch the swallows slowly being replaced by bats. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Heather, hi Heather. Good morning to you. Heather asks, how's the weather? It's 84 degrees in California, Sacramento area. It's short sleeves. It feels almost exactly like Hawaii today, without the salt air. But it's short sleeve weather for sure. I don't know what the temperature is. If I had to guess, I would say this is like right on 70 or something like that, with just a touch of humidity. You could just feel a little tiny stickiness. Sarah says, with growing vegetables, do you have any problems with wild animals? Well, the animals that you have to worry about here are, number one, are the wild boar, which can really ravage a garden. But we're far enough down the valley that there are boar. Oh, there goes this squirrel. We're far enough down the valley that there are gates. They fenced the land so to keep the wild boar out from the farmers' fields. So we're far enough down the valley that the wild boar aren't an issue here. Then the other animal that we have to worry about, though, are the crows, which aren't an issue. And probably there's other things. I don't know if tanuki are going to be an issue, but yeah, we're probably worried. There probably are. We haven't had any crops yet, so we haven't encountered anything. Heather says, we're going to Hawaii next month. I'm super excited. That sounds great. Heather says, good morning to everybody. And Heather says, there's a volcano erupting on the Big Island right now. Wow. Well, maybe you'll get to see the lava flowing into the sea, right? Isn't that kind of a thing? At least I've seen it on like documentaries. All right. Well, that's it for today. I'll sign off for now. Wish everybody the best. Heather, I hope you have enjoyed that trip to Hawaii. I'm sure we'll speak before then. I can't wait to go on an adventure. I can't wait to hear about your adventure. Looking forward to your status update. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Heather. You too. Be safe, but not too safe. Be as safe as y'all want to be. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.